Could both of y'all discuss the Kansas Bankers business and its competitors, how big of a moat Kansas Bankers has in the industry, and if they're going to expand, outside of the 22 or 20 states that they're currently in? That's A. And then secondly, just clue us in a little bit more on the 5-year discount notes that you did that were tied to the Solomon stock.
Sometimes in the insurance business, you have a choice between being a good business or a big business. And fortunately, Don Toll, who runs Kansas Bankers Surety, is chosen for a good business. It's a specialized operation that sells, as its name implies, to bankers, and primarily policies that have fidelity coverage. And that is just not a big volume business in the whole United States. They do it exceptionally well. Don knows he knows every account, he knows every claim. He runs a fabulous operation, but it's not an operation that can double or triple in size, doing what it does and doing well. There's not the opportunity there. On the other hand, I think it's tough to compete against Don because he brings an element of knowledge and personal attention to the account and factors of that sort that a really large company would have trouble duplicating. Charlie, you want to add anything on Kansas Bankers?
Yeah, there's a huge class of businesses in America which are very strong and will throw out large amounts of cash in relation to their size, but which can't rationally be expanded very much. And if you try and expand certain kinds of businesses, you're throwing money down the rat hole. The beauty of the Berkshire Hathaway system is that such businesses are very welcome here because the cash comes into headquarters and is allocated there. If there's anything sensible to do at the subsidiary level, we always want it done, but there are lots of businesses where there isn't much of a way of redeploying the cash.
Part of the reason they have a moat around them is that they're of a size and have specialized skills that other organizations just can't get into it. I'll give you another example, and that's somewhat same field. There's a company called Western Surety. It's changed ownership a couple of times. Charlie and I went up to see him 15 years ago by buying it at Sioux Falls. They write notary bonds, and they write a whole bunch of things that have $50 premiums or $25 premiums. There was a company doing not that many millions of premiums, but they had 30,000 agents. But each agent, may have done $500 worth of business with them a year or $1,000. Well, Chubb can't go after that business the same way. We certainly can at National Indemnity. They have a distribution system that works wonders, but you can't pump 2 or 3 times the volume through that distribution system. And if you could pump it through, there would have been more competition. So there are businesses that have certain natural limits that you want to be careful that you don't talk yourself into thinking a business that has limits and find out that it really has way more potential. I mean, it would have been a shame if Mr. Candler decided that Coca-Cola only appealed to people in Atlanta or something of the sort. So you got to be a little careful on that. But a fellow like Don will be very good at understanding, where his competitive advantages can take him and where they don't take him. He's done a terrific job over the years doing it. There was a second question, was there? No.
Just the $500 million, I think, that y'all did of the discount.
The Solomon notes. Yeah. Well, that is simply an issue of Berkshire by Berkshire of $500 million, as you mentioned, of a very low coupon note, low interest rate note too, that is convertible or exchangeable into Solomon stock anytime during the next 5 years. And it's a way of taking the capital out of that block of stock at a low interest cost to use elsewhere while retaining a limited portion of the upside in the Solomon stock. And we made that decision whenever it was 6 months ago or so, based on the thought that we might have some good opportunities at some point to use that money, and raising the money at a little over a 1% current cost or a 3% cost to maturity. And we think the actual cost is likely to be close to the 1%. made sense for us. We have never owned. I mean, we had the convertible prefers of Champion, of U.S. Airways, and of Solomon, and those are three industries. I don't think we've ever owned an airline stock, common stock. I don't think we've ever owned a paper company common stock, and we've only had a very limited amount of investment in the investment banking businesses. Those are industries that we don't feel that we've got the same kind of long-term economic advantage that we have in something like a Coke or a Gillette. So those are not natural places for us to be common shareholders. And the issuance of that exchangeable debt reflected that view. Charlie?
I agree.